Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 481 based on novel. So let's start. Qing Shui's body trembled violently. The thorn in his chest was pulled out several inches by Wang Lin. A suction force came from the wound, holding onto the thorn, and Wang Lin felt that suction force. As Wang Lin pulled the thorn, a strange aura went from the thorn into Wang Lin's heart. Wang Lin's heartbeat increased and the sound of his heart beating surged out like crazy. The rate of his heartbeat became even faster and soon became an intense pain that washed over his body. Just at this moment, a ghostly voice came from behind Wang Lin. The first thorn was sealing his heart. Wang Lin stopped for a moment. He hadn't noticed anyone was here before, so when he heard this voice, his pupils shrank and he slowly turned around. The mountain Qing Shui was on was floating in the air and had separated from the seven-colored finger. When Qing Shui's soul returned to him, the seven-colored finger before him had disappeared from this seven-colored realm. However, when Wang Lin looked back, the seven-colored finger that dissipated had reappeared. The light from the seven-colored finger was very weak. To Wang Lin it looked like the seven-colored finger collapsed, but instead of dissipating it reformed into a vague seven-colored figure. Although this figure was blurry, its gaze was clear as it looked at Wang Lin. Wang Lin silently pondered as his ancient god stars rotated rapidly. The ancient devil stars in his right eye also rotated rapidly. His left hand formed a seal and his right hand loosened from the thorn. The blurry seven-colored figure quietly said, "Don't be nervous, you can continue to save him. I won't stop you." Wang Lin didn't relax at all. He immediately recognized that this seven-colored figure was the same one he saw in the image inside the blood mist. Wang Lin understood a lot about the seven colors. He had the seven-colored statue, saw the seven-colored Daoist refiner Dao spirit, and he also saw the same seven-colored Daoist in the illusion inside the ancient tomb. Looking at the blurry seven-colored figure, Wang Lin couldn't determine if this was the person that had made his scalp go numb. However, the aura this figure exuded was very calm. Ancient inheritance. Immortal celestial body. 5 essences. You have a lot of secrets within you. The quiet voice still came from the seven-colored figure. Who are you, Your Excellency? Wang Lin's mind trembled, but his expression didn't change. If this person was really who he thought he was, then it would be no surprise that he knew his secrets. Any one of your secrets can be considered a great fortune by anyone else. However, to me, they are useless for the time being. The blurry seven-colored figure shook his head. He pointed at Qing Shui as he looked at Wang Lin and said, "You can continue, this is the opportunity one gave you. If you can save him, you can take him away. If you can't, then leave. This is your only chance." Wang Lin's right hand stopped forming the seal and he didn't turn around before grabbing the thorn in Qing Shui's chest. The moment he grabbed it, the aura of Qing Shui's heart surrounded him once more. As this aura spread around Wang Lin, he felt intense pain in his heart, but he suppressed it. He slowly pulled the thorn out. The more he pulled, the more pain Wang Lin felt in his heart, as if there was a hand trying to crush his heart. Fortunately, he had the body of an ancient god, which had astonishing recovery power. As the intense pain washed over him, he was quickly recovering. The blurry seven-colored figure looked at Wang Lin and slowly said, "The body of the ancient inheritance is really good." Back then, Emo scattered 3,000 drops of blood to retain his inheritance, and it wasn't wasted. When the pain in Wang Lin's heart reached its limit, his eyes lit up and his right hand mercilessly pulled the first thorn out. Qing Shui clenched his teeth and his body trembled but made no sounds. However, his face that was hidden under his scattered hair was twisted with pain. Blood covered Qing Shui's body, and just as the blood was about to erupt, Wang Lin quickly placed a seal on the wound. The seal flashed and the blood slowly disappeared. Wang Lin silently pondered as the rejection force inside his body rumbled. The interaction between the celestial and ancient god powers caused endless rumbles to come from his body. The thorns outside Wang Lin's body collapsed due to this rejection force. Only those thorns that were buried deep within his body remained, as if they had taken root. The moment the stone black tortoise's back shattered and the 100,000 thorns shot toward Wang Lin, He used both the light and shadow shield and the ancient god's blessing. All of this was hidden by the thorns and couldn't be seen by those outside. However, even so, he still couldn't stop the attack of the thorns, only delay them slightly. As Wang Lin stood there to regain his breath, the pain in his heart slowly dissipated. He looked at the blurry seven-colored figure before his hand grabbed the thorn stuck through Qing Shui's throat. This second thorn is sealing his muscles. Wang Lin's pupils shrank slightly and he said, "I wonder what your excellency meant by Yi Mo's 3,000 drops of blood." The seven-colored figure seemed to laugh as he shook his head and said, "If you can pull out 3 thorns, I can tell you a secret about the ancient ones." 1. Wang Lin couldn't fathom the thoughts of the seven-colored figure. He had spent great amounts of effort to observe Qing Shui since birth to force Qing Shui to remain in a state of grief and despair. In the end, he set this formation in order to harvest the slaughter essence. However, from what Wang Lin had seen the seven-colored figure do and say, it seemed he didn't care at all. This caused Wang Lin to guess his previous speculations. The indifference in the seven-colored figure's tone didn't seem fake in Wang Lin's view. He really didn't care. What is he doing this for? While Wang Lin pondered, he grabbed the second thorn in Qing Shui's throat and pulled. As he pulled, Wang Lin felt like all the muscles in his body were being pulled indefinitely. He had felt this pain when he drew the bow earlier, and it was something he could endure. Wang Lin mercilessly pulled out the second thorn. Qing Shui clenched his teeth and let out a muffled groan. Sweat covered his body as he endured the unimaginable pain. Wang Lin's face was deathly pale as his right hand grabbed the third thorn on Qing Shui's left arm. This third thorn and the fourth thorn on his right arm are sealing his divine sense, the seven-colored figure said with a calm voice. Wang Lin let out a roar as he grabbed the third thorn and pulled. His divine sense was hit by a powerful force from the third thorn. It felt like his divine sense was seriously injured after it had spread out. Wang Lin coughed out a mouthful of blood and then pulled out the third thorn with a fierce expression. He didn't hesitate to grab the fourth thorn in Qing Shui's right arm and mercilessly pull. Wang Lin's injured divine sense was hit by the powerful force once more. His mind rumbled and he coughed out blood again. The rejection force in his body surged, causing his body to tremble constantly. Qing Shui's arm fell and he looked up at Wang Lin. It seemed his gaze couldn't see the seven-colored figure, only Wang Lin. There was sorrow, relief, and excitement in that gaze. Wang Lin wiped away the blood from the corner of his mouth and smiled at Qing Shui. However, soon, his eyes narrowed. Qing Shui's gaze reflected Wang Lin's surroundings. Wang Lin could only see himself but not the seven-colored figure. "He can't see me. Only you can see me here. You're a very interesting spirit cultivator, just like that little cultivator, John, who surprised me. All exceptions created here. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm confident you have nothing to do with me, I wouldn't believe that creation could be so wondrous." The seven-colored figure sighed. He said, "I'm not related to him." "What does that mean? The person named John? Is he talking about the dead John Conley or old ghost John?" Wang Li didn't look at the seven-colored figure. His eyes lit up and he slowly asked, "What do you mean by Mo Yi's 3,000 drops of blood?" The seven-colored figure smiled and looked at Wang Lin. He began to speak with a hint of reminiscence. At the start, there was no cultivator from the ancient country, let alone ancient Yi Mo. But he still came. Before his death, he scattered 3,000 drops of his blood. 1,000 became ancient gods, 1,000 became ancient devils, and 1,000 became ancient demons. As the years passed, the 3,000 drops of blood fused or diluted. That is the origin of your 3 ancient clans here. Wang Lin's mind trembled. He couldn't believe this person's words completely, but it was extremely similar to what the ancient demon soul inside the drum had said in the demon spirit land. Ancient demon Bei Luo once said that the Ancient One was the first generation of heaven-defying cultivators. He died fighting the heavenly Tao, and later the ancient gods, ancient demons, and ancient devils appeared. The 3 ancient clans were the second generation of heaven-defying cultivators. Although it was not the same as what the seven-colored figure said, if the two were combined, a clear image would appear. Ancient Yimo was lured here by the ancient celestial emperor, or the seven-colored figure here. That battle was the ancient battle where the Ancient One battled the heaven that was mentioned by Bei Luo. The 3,000 drops of blood eventually turned into the 3 ancient clans. Those drops that fused became the royal bloodlines. Just how much of this is true? Wang Lin took a deep breath. The seven-colored figure slowly said, "There are still 6 more sealing thorns, you can continue." Wang Lin silently pondered and suppressed the thought in his mind. His right hand reached out for the 5th thorn. This was located at the Dantian. This 5th thorn is sealing his origin. The seven-colored figure's ethereal voice echoed in Wang Lin's ears. The moment Wang Lin touched the thorn, his celestial and ancient powers surged at once. It was as if his body was going to be broken. As the 2 forces rushed into his right arm, he mercilessly pulled out the thorn. A thunderous bang rang out when he pulled out the thorn. However, Wang Lin's body trembled and popping sounds came from his right arm. Blood mist gushed out and he retreated a few steps before he stabilized himself. With bloodshot eyes, Wang Lin walked up to Qing Shui. Qing Shui's face was filled with extreme pain and muffled groans were escaping his mouth. After approaching Qing Shui, Wang Lin didn't hesitate to grab the 6th and 7th thorns that were in Qing Shui's legs. Without waiting for the seven-colored figure to speak, Wang Lin let out a roar. Golden light flashed from Wang Lin's arms and ancient power filled them. While covered in blood, he pulled hard with both hands. Even someone as strong as Qing Shui could no longer endure the pain, but his miserable scream was suppressed into a hiss. With a bang, both thorns were pulled out by Wang Lin. Now blood was flowing out from the corner of his mouth. However, the rejection force inside Wang Lin had reached a peak, causing his face to become distorted. Not bad, there are 3 more left. However, these last 3 thorns are not easy to remove. If you can remove them, I will give you a gift. The seven-colored figure was calm and reached out at the 7-colored cloud in the sky. The cloud trembled and a giant, yellow fruit formed and slowly descended. There was still a branch connected to the fruit. The 7-colored figure cut the branch and the fruit fell down. "This is a gift for you." Wang Lin looked at the Dao fruit and frowned. The 7-colored figure gave him the same feeling as the All-Seer. He couldn't guess this person's intent. This person had allowed him to save Qing Shui, told him the secret of the Ancient Ones, and even gifted him a Dao fruit. All of this couldn't be done for no reason, there had to be a problem. Wang Lin silently pondered before withdrawing his gaze from the Dao fruit. He looked at the 8th thorn that was inches from the area between Qing Shui's eyebrows. Wang Lin could see the other 2 thorns, but they would not be easy to remove. Taking a deep breath, Wang Lin's right hand rose up slowly and reached toward Qing Shui's head. This time, he was very slow and much more serious than his previous actions. This 8th thorn was located at the head, which was the intersection of life and death. If it was dead center between Qing Shui's eyebrows, it would make sense, but it was off by a few inches, which confused Wang Lin. This 8th thorn is not a thorn but something placed there to break open his reincarnation. The 7-colored figure seemed to be smiling as he watched Wang Lin's hand slowly close in on the 8th thorn. Wang Lin's hand paused for a moment when it was 1 inch from the thorn. This thorn was different from the other 7. Although they were also embedded in Qing Shui's body, most of the other thorns were outside. However, this 8th thorn was mostly inside Qing Shui, with only 2 inches of it outside. 2 inches was very short. Wang Lin's hand couldn't stop, but he didn't know what would happen to Qing Shui once he pulled it out. His position was simply too dangerous. Qing Shui slowly looked up and looked at Wang Lin. Although his face was filled with pain, his eyes were clear. He looked at Wang Lin for a long time and then nodded. Wang Lin looked at Qing Shui and clenched his teeth. He didn't hesitate any longer and grabbed the 8th thorn. The moment Wang Lin grabbed the thorn, the pain caused Qing Shui to let out muffled roars. When Wang Lin touched the thorn, distorted memories entered his mind, putting him in a state of chaos. The large influx of images caused Wang Lin's mind to feel swollen and painful. He couldn't look at the memories in detail. His hand grabbing the 8th thorn mercilessly pulled it out 4 inches. Qing Shui clenched his teeth and still didn't let out a violent roar. He held on and muffled hisses came out from between his teeth. A few short breaths felt like an eternity for Wang Lin and Qing Shui. The memories that entered his mind almost drove him mad, but he didn't let go. He slowly pulled the thorn out more and more. In the end, the thorn that was stabbed into Qing Shui's head was pulled out by Wang Lin. When the thorn was pulled out, blood flowed from Qing Shui's mouth. He was freed from the mountain. He fell toward Wang Lin and Wang Lin caught him. His head laid on Wang Lin's shoulder. His body was so weak that Wang Lin almost couldn't feel his weight. Wang Lin could only hear his faint words. Thanks. After he said this, Qing Shui passed out. Senior brother, Wang Lin threw away the thorn in his hand and held Qing Shui. Tears flowed down from his eyes. Not bad, however, the last two thorns are much more difficult than the previous ones. Forget it, take this and leave. The seven-colored figure waved his hand and the Dao fruit flew toward Wang Lin. I said I was going to gift this to you, so you can take it. Wang Lin held Qing Shui and accepted the Dao fruit. He looked profoundly at the seven-colored figure as he put away the Dao fruit. He took Qing Shui and flew toward the exit of the seven-colored realm. Wang Lin felt a powerful sense of dread toward the seven-colored figure. He didn't know why the seven-colored figure had done all this. As he pondered, he stopped just before leaving and turned toward the seven-colored figure in the distance. Why? Wang Lin's voice was hoarse as he asked the question. He is just a game. If you want to save him, then just take him away. As for why? I want to see if spiritual cultivators can go through the wonderful change that little boy Jean went through if they get lucky. Perhaps I can use this to find him. What are you looking for? Wang Lin frowned. He couldn't really understand what this person was saying. If you can encounter it, you will know. The seven-colored man smiled and waved his right hand. Wang Lin's body retreated outside of his control. Shock filled Wang Lin's eyes as his body gradually left the seven-colored realm. As Wang Lin departed, he asked the last question, "Are you the celestial sovereign?" "I am and also not," the faint voice showed. Wang Lin appeared inside the brilliant void star system, then the rift to the seven-colored realm slowly disappeared. His body regained its freedom, but what had happened left a deep impression on him. He seemed to vaguely understand something, but it left him more confused. What is he looking for? If the little Jean cultivator he was talking about is old ghost Jean, then what amazing change happened to old ghost Jean? This change would allow the seven-colored person to find what he is looking for. While silently pondering, Wang Lin retreated and looked at the seven-colored realm that had disappeared. The matter with Qing Shui is only a game. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. He held Qing Shui and arrived at an abandoned planet near the Alliance headquarters. There were no cultivators or spiritual energy on this planet, only some beasts. However, for Wang Lin, this was the best place to remove the seal on Qing Shui. Wang Lin sat inside a valley in this planet and placed the unconscious Qing Shui before him. He took a deep breath and closed his eyes in an attempt to suppress the intense rejection force inside his body. However, it was very difficult, and in the end he only softened the intense pain. There were countless thorns buried in his flesh. Although they couldn't be seen, the pain he felt with every breath he took would remind Wang Lin of their existence. The cost of saving Qing Shui was very high. However, even if Wang Lin could choose again, he would do it again without hesitation, even if it didn't line up with his plan, even if this was very stupid. The reason he had waited this many years to save Qing Shui was because with his cultivation level back then, he had no chance at all, so he wouldn't be able to save Qing Shui. However, with his current cultivation level, he had a chance to save Qing Shui. If he still waited until he had a better chance, waited until he became a third-step cultivator, waited until he had enough strength, he wouldn't know if Qing Shui was still alive. Sometimes, if one calculated everything clearly, every possible gain or loss, that kind of person would never know what emotions were. Even though he knew the danger, he still had to go. If it was Qing Shui, Wang Lin knew that with Qing Shui's personality, Qing Shui would do the same. He would save Wang Lin. This was enough. It was a very simple reason and a very direct choice, But how many people could do this? Life was precious, but sometimes there were things more important than life. However, very few people still believed this. Wang Lin was not a gentleman or a ruthless cultivator. He was a person with flesh, blood, and emotions. Fortunately, both of them were this type of person. The 9th thorn was within his spine, it was completely buried within his spine and not an inch was sticking out. There wasn't even a wound, it was as if it was just hiding in a void inside his body. The unconscious Qing Shui's face was still twisted from pain, but there was a hint of relief and joy on his face. His sense of relief was because of Wang Lin, and his sense of joy was also because of Wang Lin. After a brief moment of cultivation, Wang Lin's exhaustion dissipated a bit. He took a deep breath and lifted the unconscious Qing Shui with his back facing toward himself. Wang Lin's eyes were like lightning as he stared at Qing Shui's thin back. Qing Shui's spine was swollen, it was a shocking image. After a long time, Wang Lin's expression became serious. He raised his right hand and his index finger slowly moved down along Qing Shui's spine as if he was looking for something. Wang Lin's eyebrows were locked tight as if he was thinking of something. Fortunately, it hasn't completely fused with his spine. If even more time had passed, this thorn would have completely fused with his spine, then it could never be removed. It's sealing his body and his origin soul. Even if the body was changed, it would still be there. Wang Lin's index finger suddenly stabbed into the first section of Qing Shui's spine. Qing Shui's body trembled and he opened his eyes. He clenched his teeth so the sound of his pain wouldn't come out. Wang Lin softly said, "Senior brother, the pain of this 9th thorn will be even more intense than the previous 8 combined. I have suffered throughout my entire life, I'm already used to it." Qing Shui's voice was hoarse, but it was extremely calm. There was a hint of sorrow in Wang Lin's eyes. After letting out a sigh, he no longer hesitated and softly said, "Endure." As he spoke, his right hand pierced through Qing Shui's flesh toward the spine. Wang Lin's finger gripped the thorn. A weak thorn was being held by Wang Lin's fingers. Qing Shui's face became deathly pale and cold sweat secreted out. However, he clenched his teeth and turned this pain into the flame of hatred that burned in his eyes. Wang Lin pinched the weak thorn and slowly pulled it out. This was like extracting bone marrow, very few people could endure this pain. Wang Lin's expression was extremely serious and didn't allow his fingers to tremble at all. He pinched the thorn and slowly pulled it out. Every inch he pulled out would cause Qing Shui to let out a muffled groan. Qing Shui's hand gripped the ground hard and dug out a deep hole. Wang Lin couldn't see Qing Shui's expression, all of his focus was on his fingers. He slowly pulled up and always maintained a gentle speed. He didn't dare to be too violent. Although this soft thorn hadn't fully integrated with Qing Shui's spine, a majority of it has, so he had to be careful. Time passed. The 9th thorn was very long. After 15 minutes, Wang Lin had pulled out most of it. Sweat covered his forehead, but he ignored the sweat and focused on the thorn. The thorn that was pulled out was completely black, and a drop of black blood fell on the ground, making sizzling sounds. "Pull the rest out at once." Qing Shui's calm voice squeezed through his teeth and entered Wang Lin's ears. Wang Lin silently pondered. An instant later, his right hand mercilessly pulled the thorn out from Qing Shui's spine. Black blood sprayed out and Qing Shui coughed out a mouthful of black blood. His back bulged out and then slowly returned to normal. Intense breathing came from Qing Shui's mouth, and it took a long time for his breathing to calm down. His hands formed a seal and he began to cultivate. Wang Lin's face was pale, and after throwing away the thorn, he also closed his eyes to cultivate. When he pulled out the 9th thorn, he also suffered the same pain, as if his bone marrow was also being extracted. Although it wasn't as strong as Qing Shui's pain, it was still very strong. After half an hour, Wang Lin opened his eyes. Wang Lin softly said, "Senior brother, the last one." Qing Shui slowly exhaled and turned around to face Wang Lin. He silently looked at his junior brother from the past. When he saw that tired expression and the dried, red blood, a hint of softness appeared in his eyes. "You've grown up," Qing Shui revealed a smile. The junior brother before him was no longer the little cultivator that needed his protection but an extremely powerful individual that could shake the entire star system. Wang Lin looked at Qing Shui and smiled. Although this smile was filled with exhaustion, it revealed his true sense of happiness. "Do you have any wine?" Qing Shui waved his hands. His body had been confined for many years, so now it felt somewhat strange. Wang Lin nodded and his right hand reached at the void. His storage space appeared and a wine jug flew out. Qing Shui laughed and grabbed the wine jug. He took a big gulp and the spicy feeling spread across his body. He let out a big breath and then handed the wine jug to Wang Lin. After Wang Lin took it, he also took a big gulp, and the spicy feeling spread across his body as well. The two looked at each other and began to laugh. Their laughter was filled with joy. It was very rare for the both of them to laugh so heartily. "After this thorn is removed, my cultivation will be restored and will be increased greatly. Slaughter essence, slaughter essence." As Qing Shui spoke, there was a hint of sorrow in his eyes, but he buried it deep within him. He took the wine jug from Wang Lin and took another gulp. "Come, take out the last thorn." Qing Shui put down the wine jug and his eyes shined. This gaze made Wang Lin feel like he was looking at the Qing Shui from the past. Wang Lin looked at the swollen veins on Qing Shui's body and slowly said, "The last thorn has penetrated all your blood vessels in your body. I fear this is the longest one. I remember that this thorn entered from here." Qing Shui raised his right hand to point at his chest where his heart was. As he pointed, a bloody hole opened and revealed the blue blood vessels within. After taking a deep breath, Qing Shui pinched without hesitation and dragged the blood vessel out from the wound. Although he looked calm, the contraction of his pupils revealed how painful it was. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he waved his right hand. He cut off the blood vessel that Qing Shui had pulled out. Just as blood was about to spray out, Wang Lin placed a seal on one end to stop the blood, and his finger went into the other end. It seemed like Wang Lin had caught something and pulled. Qing Shui's body trembled like it never had before. His face that had somewhat recovered instantly turned pale, but he clenched his teeth. He stared at his chest and the purple thorn that Wang Lin was pulling out from his blood vessel. The thorn was soft like a snake, and the part that was being pulled out was still wiggling. Every time it wiggled, even more cold sweat would appear on Qing Shui's forehead. He grabbed the wine jug and took another big gulp. When he took that gulp, Wang Lin pulled hard and 7 feet of the thorn was pulled out. Qing Shui's face turned blue and his body trembled. Faint roars came out of his throat. He stared at the sky and the anger burned once more in his eyes. The intense pain caused him to crush the wine jug, causing wine to splatter everywhere. "Wang Lin, do you have wine?" Wang Lin's left hand reached at the void and a green gourd appeared. This wasn't wine but the dragon blood the old vermilion bird had given him. This blood was fierce. Qing Shui took the jug and took a gulp. He sucked in a breath of cold air and smiled. A bit fishy but still sweet. "What kind of wine is this?" "This is clearly blood, but this blood wine is strong enough." "Wang Lin, pull the entire thorn out." Wang Lin's gaze became serious and he mercilessly pulled the thorn out. The veins all over Qing Shui's body bulged and gathered toward his chest. As Wang Lin pulled, Qing Shui's frozen cultivation loosened. A slaughter aura spread into the air, causing black clouds to cover the sky. The slaughter aura was extremely dense at this moment. Black snow began to fall from the clouds, covering the earth. "Take a break, I'll do it myself." There was a flash of coldness in Qing Shui's eyes and he stood up. He took another mouthful of the wine before his left hand grabbed the purple thorn and mercilessly pulled. There was a thunderous bang and the bulged veins all over his body moved violently. A lot of the purple thorn was pulled out. "You have sealed his celestial lord for so long, now get the hell out here for this celestial lord." Qing Shui's voice was cold, as if he didn't care about the pain. He grabbed the last piece of the purple thorn and the thorn snapped. The part connected to his blood vessel wanted to shrink back in, but Qing Shui didn't even look at it. He threw away the other half and his fingers moved like a sword toward his blood vessel. A shocking amount of slaughter essence surged out into his blood vessel. Since you don't want to leave, then die inside this lord's body. Just as Qing Shui's fingers descended, the black snow fell even more rapidly. The slaughter essence that even shocked Wang Lin rushed out from Qing Shui's fingers into his body. Popping sounds echoed inside his body and a miserable roar seemed to come from the bulged veins before calming down. It seemed the thorn that looked like it was alive was instantly killed by Qing Shui's slaughter essence. Qing Shui's body trembled and he coughed out a mouthful of black blood. His thin body began to grow and he recovered to his original appearance. At this moment, the slaughter essence inside his body erupted and the sky turned dark. As the black snow fell, a phantom door appeared. The Void Gate. This video will end here.